Whether it's poorly dubbed Crystal Maze in the early 90s, or it's Millionaire in 2001.
Ну, у вас есть возможность ответить на 12-й вопрос. Правильно!
И у него мой телефон, да?
Russians love a Western game show format. You name a big international franchise, Russia has most likely had its own version. But for some mysterious reason, in 2022, Western countries fell out with their Russian cousins. This led to most Western businesses pulling out or selling up in the country, meaning McDonald's is now just tasty and that's it. Starbucks lost its bucks. Personally, I think Star Rubles would have been better, but that's just me. And Coca-Cola became a little less internationally ubiquitous after pulling out of one of its largest markets. One thing you may not have thought about, though, is its effect on television entertainment formats. And to be honest, the effect arguably isn't that big, because a bit like those brands I just mentioned, which were taken into Russian ownership, they've by and large kept going, because with no longer being able to license the IP to the format along with the show branding, Russian TV has just decided to make the shows anyway. It's not like Sony or BBC Studios are going to have much luck taking on a case in the Russian courts. Now, you're probably thinking the knockoffs can't be that similar. So let's play a game show of our own.
Spot the format. Which show could this be with 15 questions to a life-changing sum of money? Name the show with this mean-looking lady taking charge of the contestants here. And what could this game show be with some kind of fortune wheel on set? Finally, can you name this show set on a fort in the middle of the ocean? The answers are coming up.
The first show we're looking at perhaps is the most obvious knockoff. Russia's version of Millionaire has been running on and off since around 2001. So when the sanctions hit, they just kept going. The music seems to be the same. And to be honest, if they're going to copy things to that extent, it's surprising they didn't just keep the graphics and logos the same. Then again, it was somebody's job to create this.
As a related aside, does this former host of Ukraine's Millionaire spin-off Hot Seat look familiar?
Внимание! Коту за воротник, псу под хвост, слону в хобот.
Это ругательство. То, что вы сейчас сказали.
A little more effort to disguise things here, but still quite recognisably the weakest link, with a host carrying on from previously presenting the licensed version.
И талантливыми, и красивыми. Но только наша игра покажет, совпадает ли их мнение о себе с реальностью. Каждый из них может выиграть до 400.
She's also a serving government politician who'd have thought that Russia's state-controlled broadcasters aren't too worried about looking impartial. The game seems to play out the same, a small difference being, in the opening round, contestants can refuse to vote for a fellow player, but from what I've seen, it seems someone still leaves anyway. I'm sure there's a joke in there about Russian democracy somewhere.
Жду. Давайте. Ничего, сейчас.
They have made effort to try and pass this off as a new show, with jarringly bright titles and different music, along with different graphics. Then there's unlicensed Wheel of Fortune. It's fair to say, it's, well, different. I'll be honest, I've got no idea what's going on here.
A thing to note is the Russian broadcaster only acquired the license in 2022, despite the show running since 1990, because CBS wouldn't sell them the rights at the time. I assume that license is invalid now. One thing they do on Russian TV is make sure everyone's well fed. Anyway, this show seems to be more about the traditional musical performance than actual gameplay. Reality competition shows aren't immune either. The big difference here, on The Voice, seems to be the design of the chairs. I hope he hasn't passed away. Oh, he seems to have perked up now. The Traitors has become a mega hit worldwide since the start of the war. The Dutch format, admittedly based on a Russian parlor game, has also had its own local attempts.
Спортсмены,
Нефтяникой хотел сбросить, понял?
бизнесмены,
Я всегда сделаю так, как думаю я.
экстрасенсы.
Точно знаю, кто из вас умрет первым.
And finally, the show where I think they've gone to the most effort to pull off a brilliant copy. It's Fort Boyard. No, it's Fort Return of the Legend. For this, they polished off an old sea fort in the middle of the Gulf of Finland. The music seems to be hinting towards the Boyard theme. In fact, I think it just is the Boyard theme in there somewhere in the mix. And the characters are very menacing. The format seems to be largely the same, with contestants collecting pieces of an anchor instead of keys to access the treasure.
Whilst all this is nothing important compared to the human cost of the war, I hope you found it interesting. There is clearly still a lot of love and budget put into these shows, so whether it's The Voice, The Weakest Link or Wheel of Fortune, whichever your favourite show is, chances are there is still a Russian version. Who knows, Western brands may one day return to Russia and these shows may become licensed versions again. But that remains to be seen. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. And if you'd like to see more similar videos, feel free to join our new Patreon.